So please cut all of that out. So start at
here.
4. Right. Start at 4.
Start right here.
Right.
Hey everybody, we just saw Kellie's titties.
No, don't start there.
Shakalaka. Top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world.
And we are back. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Worst Ones podcast, aka Kellie does it again. Kellie does it again.
I just hope I never do that on like a work call.
We're about to get sponsored by Victoria's Secret.
Hooters is our. All right, we are PKs. My name is Rudy Wilson. We got Janessa, Rowland, Kellie Lee, Terry Wayne in the building. Janessa, let's start with you. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Just stressed, trying to move work and do grad school at the same time. It's a lot. And then also, I was really disappointed, y'all. Starbucks came out with their holiday line, and guess what's not on there? The eggnog latte. The eggnog latte is my favorite drink of the holiday. And like my soul is fresh.
From Starbucks specifically or from anywhere?
No, from Starbucks specifically. I sent them a very nice tweet. Okay. It was fine. They said why. I sent them a very nice tweet letting them know that I expect to see it on the menu by December 1st.
Wow.
There's still time to add it back.
Wow.
Apparently I'm not the only one. There's like petitions out there to get the eggnog latte back on the menu. And
how many expletives were in that tweet?
None. You know, I used my good my good literary skills.
Gotcha.
And just penned a nice, to the point tweet. And hopefully Starbucks will see it and respond.
So is this only time of year that you betray Dunkin' Donuts? Is during the eggnog season?
No. I like Dunkin' too. I like their holiday stuff too. But that eggnog latte, y'all, it's something about it. It's just.
I wonder why they took it off the menu.
I don't know. I know they did add like some vegan options or something like that. I mean, why can't we have both?
Right, because Starbucks is really like. Have it your way. Like
right. But I already told myself if I have to just bring my own eggnog and get like a shot of espresso and mix it up in my car, that's what we're just gonna have to do.
By any means necessary.
That's how much I like it.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
But yeah,
fair enough. Gotcha. Terry Wayne, what's popping?
Tennessee Titans are popping, baby. That's what's up.
Are they?
What's
their
yeah.
record?
Let me see. Do I have any of them folks on my fantasy football team?
We are leading the division. We have the NFL's top running back by a lot.
Shout out Derrick Henry.
That's right. He's beaten everybody by at least 250 yards.
What's his name?
Derrick Henry.
Oh, I need him next year.
And it's not even how many games we won. We're 6-2, but it's who we've beaten. We beat the Bills. We beat the Kansas City Chiefs. We beat the Colts twice now. Like this is the year. I'm putting my reputation on it.
I see.
Okay.
I'm sure Cowboys fans are saying the same thing.
We'll whoop the shit out of the Cowboys.
Gotcha. Kellie Lee.
I am doing well. Sorry, eating my dinner. No complaints. As we all are aware, Atlanta's lit. World Series. School is closed on Friday for the parade. So I don't have to go to work on Friday.
Good God.
So, ain't he good?
Same. He knew Rudy was coming in town that day.
Now, yeah, so no complaints. I'm doing well.
Are you going to the parade?
If somebody else drives me, I don't do traffic, I don't do parking, I don't do any of those things.
Seems like you don't do a lot.
I just really want a t-shirt, like a World Series Atlanta t-shirt.
Yeah.
That's really it.
I don't mind going. I'm just not driving, so, and I don't know anyone's going, so nope, probably not.
Well, if you really want a t-shirt, they have this stuff called money, and you can give that to somebody, and then they'll just give you one.
They'll give me one? Yeah, I gotta go do that tomorrow.
Or does it have to be one of those t-shirts that like gets shot out of a gun at you?
Oh, no. No, I just want, just like I got my Dirty Birds shirt, I want a World Series shirt.
Dirty Birds. Where is Jamal Anderson?
I don't know.
Let's find that guy. Jesus Christ. Cool beans. Well, yeah, shout out to the Atlanta Braves holding it down for the A. The only winners we have thus far, or at least in a while. The Falcons have never won. I think the Hawks won way back in the day. So shout out to
our Atlanta stats.
Yeah, we
I'm gonna give y'all another Atlanta facts because it's important. The illustrious Georgia Institute of Technology has more national championships than that high school in the East that a lot of people like. So yes, we stay winning. People don't know that. They always think that Georgia has more than us, but no. We have more than them.
And like in all sports?
In football.
Oh, in football. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. My a guy who coached me, just a quick sidebar, he coached me in college. He actually was the starting running back on that last championship team they had in 1990 at Georgia Tech. Yeah.
Our undefeated year.
So, all right. Well, shout out Georgia, Atlanta, the whole city.
And Georgia Tech. Don't be saying that other school.
No. I was saying the state of Georgia, not UGA.
You gotta specify.
I was saying the state.
Yeah, real cool.
Right. Shout out the state of Georgia, the city of Atlanta. And the Braves and Georgia Tech from the illustrious Georgia Tech.
That's right.
Tennessee forever.
Okay. I'm fine. Excited to see you guys this weekend in Atlanta, or by the time everybody who's watches this, it would have been last weekend. But I'm sure we had a swell time, so we'll tell you more about it on the next episode.
A swell time.
Swell time.
Oh, Terry, you missed the squeezing.
The squeezing.
Yeah.
Squeezing.
That's
how was it without me on the show? Boring? I bet.
It was.
Well, we've done it a couple times before, so
boring.
We just could not pull it together, Terry. Like, I mean, don't ever leave us again.
You might as well change your name to Elmer's because you're the glue, sir. You are the glue.
Why aren't you laughing, Terry? I don't.
Because somebody just texted me, so it like when you get a text and it like kills the sound.
Oh, like Terry looks real straight faced in this whole conversation about it.
Well, Terry, the ball is in your court, sir. Tell us what we're talking about today.
Well, Genesis tells us that man was given dominion over the earth by God. Now, what does that mean as far as our responsibility for taking care of it, aka climate change, aka don't litter?
AKA.
What is our responsibility as Christians to take care of the planet? Because I know quite a few religious people who are not very down with, environmental protection in general.
Such as what? Like they litter, or you mean like they don't recycle?
They're, like climate change deniers and, people who fight against renewable energies, solar and wind and all that.
But what can we exactly do about climate change?
Oh, a lot.
I was like,
yeah,
we have
tons.
environmental
I would
science.
love to hear Janessa's
tons
view on this.
But tons, yeah, I need a more specific answer than tons. Whoever wants to answer. But
you can reduce your carbon footprint to start, and then corporately.
And what do you mean by carbon footprint? What if somebody doesn't know what that means?
The amount of you know what, Janessa, you can be more articulate.
Janessa here.
Okay, so I'll try to give you the simplified version. Basically, a lot of activities, especially human-based activities, release carbon monoxide and dioxide into the atmosphere. Basically, it's a big contributor to what we call greenhouse gases, which trap in radiation from the sun, which causes the temperature of the earth to rise, basically. So that's what global warming is. And when the temperature rises, and it doesn't take a lot, like I would say since 1900s, the temperature has only risen like 1.2 degrees Celsius. But if it gets to like 1.5, it's like the detrimental.
What is the temperature of the earth?
I don't know what it is specifically right now. I would have to look that up. It's not something I just know.
But it's not 98.6. I'm assuming.
No,
that's humans.
Well, I know it's humans, but I was assuming maybe it was congruent or something. I don't know. That's why I was, because I don't know. I just really just thought about the fact that the Earth as a planet has a, I guess, average temperature. But I never really thought about that because we'd be all over the world. So I would think that if you
and just to
cold or vice versa.
Because I heard this week on my other podcast, there was a clip of an elected official, somebody who's supposed to be smart, that said, "Well, I don't even understand all this global warming. If the planet's getting hotter, how can that make things colder?" I just want to address that real quick. It's easy. The radiation, as Janessa was talking about, that comes in from the sun, it's not allowed to escape once it gets in. So it traps more of the heat. That heat then burns up the polar ice caps, which are then raising the sea level, which throws off the current of the water and the current of the air, that then pushes warm air from the equator up into the pole areas, which keeps us at a livable temperature. If that airflow goes away, then everything goes back. Everything outside of the equator goes back to an ice age.
Now it would take a while for that to happen, but there are definitely things that are happening now that
but the whole world would be in chaos during that time.
So I'm telling you,
cities would fall.
Even right now, based off of exactly what you just said, all those things, you're seeing stronger and more frequent hurricanes. You're seeing all these crazy ice storms. I bet, I remember hearing about ice storm names a couple of years ago. I was like, when did we start naming blizzards? But that's a thing. Just flooding in general, just seeing more rain, but then other areas are not seeing rain. So areas that typically
they're seeing droughts,
are seeing extreme droughts. So that affects food production. That's going on right now. There has been a decrease worldwide of agriculture because of climate change. You got pests, stuff like COVID.
Basically, all the worst parts of the Bible.
Pathogens, salmonella, E. coli, cryptosporidium. There's all sorts of stuff that can go out of whack due to climate change.
Down here in Florida, we had the red algae tide.
I just thought y'all just had that. All those dead fish just washed up on the shore, and it's detrimental to humans. You don't want to drink the water or.
Well, not to mention the Great Barrier Reef is dying. Reefs all over the world are dying because the water is becoming more desalinated.
So what's the other side? So these are all the problems that are happening. So what could humans do? What would be the change or some of the changes that would need to be made to?
A carbon tax, a simple carbon tax would fix this.
So they did do something like that. Not where they taxed, but
no, they have to tax it because when something costs more money, people don't do it as much.
Well, yeah, and so basically, whatever, I forgot what the policy was called, but basically, countries were given a certain amount of carbon they could emit. And what was happening was there, some countries that are smaller, that aren't as developed, weren't emitting, anywhere close to their limit. So what they were doing was selling, hey, this small country has this amount. I'll sell it to Russia or China or one of these other places who does emit a lot of carbon. And so it was kind of counterproductive, because instead of the bigger countries like Russia, China, Indonesia reducing their carbon, they were just basically trying to find loopholes to buy other people's carbon who was emitting less, so they can continue to process the way they were. But that's not helping anything. We need to all reduce, everybody. And it's
I like that you said smaller countries, because on a global scale, it's China, Russia, and us. Yeah. We're the ones wrecking the planet. Those three countries, if we got our shit together, we'd be fine.
So what exactly is carbon? And the reason why I'm asking that, because of course I've heard of carbon monoxide and stuff like that, but I normally just pertain that to just say some sort of a gas when it comes down to the whole oxygen flow. But I've never really heard anybody use talk about carbon as if it's like a natural resource, I guess, to sort of speak. Like, this country's using this amount of carbon. I've never heard. So what exactly is carbon when a country is using it?
Carbon is a slang term, okay? Because the actual carbon itself, your carbon, like everything is carbon essentially. We're all carbon-based life forms. But when people talk about it in this aspect, they're talking about carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, all these greenhouse gases. They're basically using it as a catch-all term. Just because when you talk to the masses, you have to kind of dumb things down.
But I'm saying, how is a country using carbon? I guess is what I'm saying. Like,
well, it's more like a voucher program. It's saying like you can only put so much toxic gases into the atmosphere every year. So they basically regulate it that way. Think of it like
you're saying from because the amount of cars or trains or stuff like that. Right.
Factory farming, the big one.
Right. Okay, that's what I was trying to get at. Okay, I got you. I get what you're saying. So because those type of just say smoke or gas or whatever already comes with those toxins, so it's just limiting how much of that to use, or even finding a different way altogether.
Right. It's not, and they're not toxins. They're naturally occurring elements on the periodic table. But so it's not like we're creating toxic things. It's just we're doing too much of it. It's kind of like saying, well, pizza is good, but too much pizza is bad. Do you get what I'm saying? And we're just abusing it.
And then, so to go back to the question, is it Christians' responsibilities, or even just say, these preachers, while they're up in these churches, preaching about, I guess, prosperity or God, healing the sick or whatever else. The question is, should they also be talking about how we can contribute to planet Earth?
Yeah, of course, because God gave us dominion over the earth. It doesn't mean you get to just walk away from your responsibility, you're given dominion over a child when you choose to start a family. But if you just leave it in a parking lot somewhere, you're going to be in trouble. Dominion isn't, and I don't like when people, I've heard the argument, well, if God doesn't want the planet to die, he'll fix it. Well, great. That way to alleviate any responsibility on yourself. Way to just shirk. Well, great. If you have that philosophy, you get to just do whatever you want with no repercussions. Awesome. Just like a teenager would think.
Well, I'm trying to find it. Dang, I had it.
Go ahead, Kelly.
No, I was just going to say that.
Yeah, Kelly, you ain't said jack. Get in here.
No, well, I was just going to say, no, I mean, to the question, what is our biblical responsibility to the earth or for the earth? I feel like as Christians, our responsibility is always to progress something forward, to do what's right, to do what's good. So I definitely feel like it would be our responsibility to all that great stuff you guys said that we should do.
Well,
shut up, Rudy.
I'll put a link to this. A comedian named Louis C.K. He's got a great joke about this very thing. I'll send you guys a link later too if you want to watch it. But he basically says, like, don't you believe if God is real and he came back one day, don't you think he'd be kind of pissed at what we did? He's like, I gave you this whole world and you couldn't even take care of it, you know?
Right. Because there's some simple things that we choose not to do on a daily basis that would protect the earth.
If you built a house for somebody that was homeless and put them in it and then left and came back 10 years later and half the house was burnt down, the other half was covered in shit, wouldn't you be mad?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not if I created the person I put in that house. Because that's also different. It's different me giving a house to somebody I don't know or somebody who I don't know what they're going to do as opposed to I know what they're going to do.
So you're saying that God gave us the earth knowing we were going to jack it up?
I think he gave us dominion over the earth knowing we was going to jack it up. That's
well,
what
we have free will, sir. So we could have gone either way.
But you still have dominion. You don't have choice to not have dominion. You know what I'm saying? There's no free choice to not have dominion. So you still have dominion and you still have the opportunity to screw it up. So I'm saying, that's why I'm saying, like, not only he just gave us the earth, he also gave us dominion over the earth, even with the ability to,
right, the same way that you gave that homeless person dominion over that house.
Right, but I didn't have any control over that homeless person because I didn't make them. That's what I'm saying. Like,
God doesn't have any control over us. We have free will. It's the basis of religion.
To say that God doesn't have any control over us, I mean, I don't know if
he has no control over us. If he had control over us, then free will doesn't exist. No,
I mean, I'm saying that because it's this rabbit hole that we keep finding ourselves in, that I'm trying not to go down because it's not the topic. But
so what you're saying is you missed me last week.
No, I go into this rabbit hole. I think we went into when you was gone. I think I brought it up, or it had something to do with slavery or whatever. Like, it had something to do with the whole free will thing. Like, I find myself bringing it up for whatever reason. So because it is a big question, and I would love to get into it with you, Terry, but we could do it at a later date. But in reference to the question at hand, and even just going back to the whole dominion thing, I'm just saying, like, God gave us more than just access to the earth, is what I'm saying. Like, he gave us dominion, even with free will or not, the ability, we have the availability and the ability to completely screw it up, which it seems like we're doing, you know what I'm saying? Because for one, it's even amazing to me that people are even know about the earth like this. Because just imagine if there weren't scientists or people studying this, like, we wouldn't really know if we were screwing it up or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, we wouldn't really know what was going on. So to me, I think that's fascinating that can even be
I think we
monitored.
know. Like when a coal-fired power plant dumps its refuse in a local river, I think they know it's bad. You know what I mean? You don't really need a scientist to tell you that. Poisoning your own water is probably
but somebody had to find out what poison was. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was a thing.
You're
like,
going pretty far back. You're like where illness was caused by ghosts and shit.
No, I'm saying this whole thing. Go ahead, Janessa.
Just real quick before I go, I just wanted to give y'all another scripture to kind of bring to the discussion. So 1 Peter 4:10 and 11 says, each of you should use whatever gifts you have received to serve as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. If anyone speaks, they should do so as one who speaks the very words of God. If anyone serves, oh, my screen went black. They should do so with the strength that God provides, so that in all things God may be praised through Jesus Christ. To him be the glory and the power forever. Amen. So just, I kind of interpreted that as, and just hearing in church, being a good steward over what you have. But also I am an environmental scientist, but I've always included that to be the environment, to be a good steward of anything that is a resource or anything that you use. Like, so, if it's your car, are you going to treat your car like trash? Are you going to try to, now some people do, but I'm just saying, like, or is it in your best interest to be a good steward over your car, your house, your environment, your money, your relationships, your all those type of things. And I just think the environment's included, but that's just my view.
But what about the economy? Brr, brr, brr. That's what they like to
about
say.
The economy?
I don't know. That's just a good talking point for people that are against the climate change deniers, people against environmental protections. They're always, well, what about the economy? Who gives a shit? You know, it'll work itself out. There are always people that want to make more money. Okay,
of course, and that's the problem.
And we'll figure it out. That's like when we used to drive horse and buggies, and then Henry Ford came out with a car. Nobody went, hey, what about the horse and buggy economy? Like, it's so stupid. Some people just want to hold us back.
But should us as Christians not drive cars then because of the fact that of the damage that it does to
the average person can't really do anything to affect change here other than petition. The main culprits are a lack of federal regulation and a lack of corporate oversight when it comes to this. That's what needs to be done. But they're never going to do it until we all care.
But also to your point, Rudy, though, technology has advanced in a way where cars are not as, detrimental to the environment. You got electric cars. You have a lot of rules and regulations. Your car emissions are specifically, and I'm just saying this because it's my job, specifically to measure exactly what we're saying, to gauge, are we adding more, pollution to the air? Are we reducing it? And over time, over the past 20 years, at least in Georgia, I can say, we have greatly decreased our pollution. And we were one of those people where, you couldn't even see the city because of smog. You have a haze, you can stand on Stone Mountain and just be a haze all over the city. We don't really have that anymore. So I think like the answer is not, no, you don't drive, especially since technology has advanced. Even MARTA uses natural gas to fuel some of their buses. But again, climate change or environmental issues a lot of times are a world team project, especially when it comes with air. There's no borders with air. You know what I'm saying? Actually, we pick up China's pollution in California. We can trace it back through the wind patterns and what specific compounds. So it's like, it doesn't matter if the United States does everything right, but if China isn't, it's a team project. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's got to do their part. It's not one person can do the whole project and we get an A.
For sure. And even to go a little bit further, you remember that tsunami that hit Japan and it caused the nuclear power plant to melt down? They found radiation with radioactive signatures from that meltdown. They found it in Washington State and Alaska. So it gets around. It all gets around.
A lot of water pollution. There's nothing stopping the ocean.
Right. But and I get that as far as the world aspect, but going back to the Christianity aspect, is it our duty to make sure that we are not only contributing but also being educated, educating, like I said, pastors actually talking about this stuff, you know what I'm saying, actually teaching on this, because I've definitely in my 32 years of living, I ain't never heard a sermon on climate change or global warming or littering, any of that.
Or I don't even know if it's the responsibility of the pastor from the pulpit per se, but the responsibility maybe of the pastor as the leader of the church. So he may not have a sermon,
right? But I in my 32 years, to your point, I ain't never seen a scientist come in the church.
Right.
I ain't never seen a science teacher. Nobody come in to Sunday school, nothing, and be like, "Hey, listen, as children of God, it's your responsibility." Now, of course, you hear, "Hey, don't litter." I've heard, "Don't litter." That's a sin, but I just hear that.
It is a pastor's responsibility because he is a community leader, and community leaders are supposed to lead. And it is our responsibility. Now, can we change it all on our own? No. But the one thing that we can do is care.
But that's what I'm saying. But I don't think it's about changing. I think it's about
every voter on both sides of the aisle made it perfectly clear that climate change was in their top 3 priorities, and that taking care of the planet was a top priority, then you'd see a lot more changes.
Right, but you're talking about politics and the world as a whole.
I'm talking
about
the way the world works.
But I'm saying you said the voter. So I'm saying you're still talking about everybody on both sides inside the world in general. I'm saying with just Christianity, with just Christians,
right,
and the responsibility that falls on just because whether it actually a change happens or not, I'm not necessarily getting to that point. I'm just saying in reference to what we're supposed to be doing. Like we're supposed to be preaching, the resurrection of Christ, stuff like that. That don't mean that the world will believe it. You feel what I'm saying? But we still have a responsibility when it comes to that. So I'm saying does that to your point of your question? Is that our responsibility, or does that responsibility fall on the body of Christ? Not so much to convince the world of it, but because we are children of God and we have to take care of what we're given, we need to at least play our part, whether the rest of the world does or not.
Right. That's what I mean. I've heard preachers talk at the pulpit about everything from television shows to politics to elections to shit that way doesn't matter a lot more than taking care of our home world. So if they can make the exception for that, they can make the exception for, doing the right thing.
So the last thing I'm gonna say, because I really have to go. Mm-hmm. Also, I think it is important for maybe not necessarily the pastor, because that might not be his gift. Like that he might not know about climate change. You know what I'm saying? Like that science might have, that wasn't it. But I think there could be some level of responsibility to work with other people, with other organizations, to work with people who have that knowledge.
Bring the science
to get the information out. And I can say, at least for my church, and this is just an own personal tangent, I do want to teach people more about environmental issues or whatever, but I brought a recycling program to my church, which it was for class. We were trying to reduce carbon footprint. And, through that, people were able to figure out, I can do this at my house, because, I was just saying, bring your old bottles, whatever to the church. But that kind of transformed into individual families being able to start recycling on their own. And so it might be like a grassroots effort like that, and it might not be every aspect of environmental issues, because there's lots of ways we contribute to carbon. Cars, cows passing gas.
Well, see, and I wanted to ask Janessa about this, because driving an electric car or becoming vegan, which one is better for the environment?
Because
I've heard that becoming vegan actually reduces your carbon footprint a lot more than driving an electric car does.
So it reduces your carbon footprint because you're not consuming animal products that generate a lot of carbon dioxide. Again, though, it's a team effort and not an individual effort. So unless everybody about to be vegan or everybody's about to drive electric cars, like, it'll help, but it's not going to ever come all the way down to zero. Trees emit carbon, or oxygen, they take in carbon, whatever. So there's some natural processes that are going on as well to kind of help, in addition to us, physically reducing some of the things. But I just think at this point, since something dramatic is not going to happen, we just kind of have to do grassroots efforts. And I don't think it's on the pastor himself to do the grassroots efforts, but he definitely, or she definitely, can reach out to the people who would know, and do it like that. But I'll have to catch the rest of it later.
I mean, this is your topic. Catch the rest of it.
I'm telling you, this is your
this was my topic, but
this is your ministry.
This
is your ministry. You need to. This is what you need to be doing at somebody's church.
Right.
Don't nobody else know this shit.
Yeah.
Know this.
We really need to package this podcast, this one here, and pass this along.
Right.
Maybe something a little bit more formal, but that's something I want to do. I don't think a lot of people know about environmental issues or the environment or how they can contribute in small ways. And that's a passion project, but that'll be down the road.
You bring the ghetto garden back. We be lit.
That's part of it.
I think the problem with most people is that somewhere along the line, environmental issues got politicized. And once they became, because I think most people, regardless of their political affiliations or their belief systems or their religion, I think most people would agree that, like, hey, we got to take care of this place because it's the only planet we got. I think most people would agree with that in their heart, but then that political monster gets in your brain and fucks you up, and it's like, oh, it's not real. Come on, even the oil company says it's real. It's real, dude. You know. Once Exxon admits it, it's pretty much game over.
All right. Well, y'all have fun. I'm out.
Yeah.
No fun without you on this one.
But in our defense, we've only known about climate change since the early 80s.
Is that when it took a big change, or do they know?
No, that's when we found out that the climate was changing.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, but were they after that? Were they able to go back and I guess look at realize like, oh, when that happened, that probably was this type of thing, or they just only could track it from when it started in the 80s?
No, because once they found that out, there was a lobbying campaign against all that information by the fossil fuel industry. And that's when they created the lie that climate change was a hoax. Even though companies like Shell and Exxon were literally raising their oil platforms, preparing for sea level rise. So they were spending tens of millions of dollars to prepare their own shit for it, while also spreading the lie that it wasn't real. That's what happens. All comes down to that greed.
I mean, yeah, money is definitely, even if just say there was something out here not hurting the earth, but only hurting people, like money wouldn't, like if there was a product out here that was making the economy the most money, but it was killing people faster than COVID, they would not stop selling that bitch.
There's a whole movie about that called Soylent Green, where it's a overpopulated dystopian future, and they essentially just turn people into food and then feed it to other people, and it's the #1 product.
Yeah, that's wild.
And that's from the 70s.
So let me ask y'all this. Speaking of this whole carbon footprint, I mean, this probably could be a topic of its own, but I did think about it. Like, wow, I think either Janessa or Terry was saying something. But when it even comes down to the whole vegan and eating animals thing, and not even so much as far as the health tip, but in reference to, I don't know, call it a biblical responsibility, Christian duty, I don't know, whatever you want to categorize it as. But as Christians, I guess Kellie, we can start with you. What's your whole take on as far as like, eating meat? Is that right or wrong? Should we just only eat, plants?
I don't know. And I'll be honest with you. I don't know the biblical answer to that.
Right.
I eat meat. So
I bet you do.
So I clearly don't think that it's wrong. I am not vegan. I am not vegetarian.
But just to be clear,
I'm not vegan either, right?
Just to be clear, you don't have to. Just because you do something, that don't mean you don't necessarily don't think it's wrong. I mean, I definitely do things consistently that I know is wrong.
Yeah. I make bad choices all the time, but I do it knowing they're bad choices.
Right. So I would, yeah.
But I really don't have a thought on it either. At this point, I don't have a thought on it either way. I have probably, knowing myself, in all honesty, I probably have intentionally not done the research on what.
If I don't know, I'm not held accountable.
Exactly. Just like you guys say that you purposely do wrong things, like it's intentional. I know it's wrong. See, I try not to do that. I just go with, I didn't know, like you said. So I just cover.
Well, let me qualify that. I only do things wrong that have no victim, right? Like I know they're wrong and I shouldn't be doing them, but as long as there's not a victim, who am I hurting? You know what I mean?
Right.
Me?
You're the victim.
Which definitely matters.
So if I go out, like, if I go out and have a threesome, most people would say, "Oh, that's wrong." How? Who am I hurting? I'm doing the opposite.
And the 2 other people engaged. You're all hurt. You've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God.
They didn't seem hurt.
What does the Bible say about threesomes?
It doesn't say anything. You were allowed to have a harem back then.
Back then, we've talked about the.
Oh, but it's different now.
And
now, I love when people cherry pick. It's all different now, though.
But yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I eat meat. I don't know whether it's right or wrong biblically. Like I said, I haven't.
Well, there's a multitude of reasons why we should all eat less meat. Now, I don't believe it's a. I don't believe in it like ethically. I don't think that it's ethically wrong to eat an animal, because most animals would eat you if they could. And I don't mean just the dangerous ones. I mean just like, even insects eat us when we die. So like that's just part of the natural order of things. But like Rudy was saying earlier, there's a health aspect to it. You could live longer, you could feel better, and I'm not saying stop eating meat, just maybe eat less, maybe have a vegetarian night once or twice a week. There's some, and me, I love to cook. I'm a chef and blah, blah, blah. But so it has its place, but there's some really, really good vegetarian options. My girlfriend made me like a sweet potato and vegetable stew. It was fantastic. No meat, no dairy, no eggs, no nothing. It was totally vegan. And you would have never been able to tell. It was delicious. And really, isn't that what we're all in it for? Just good something food. To taste good and fills you up.
See that?
But I think, again, unfortunately, politics ruins everything. And I think that's also another political move where it's like, oh, what are you, some hippie liberal vegan? And it's like, no, I don't really care. I don't care about the animals. I care about the planet, And factory farming is one of the leading causes of greenhouse gases.
But that was kind of the point to my question. Like, should we care about the animals?
The animals themselves?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying in reference to like, no, because that's what most vegans who are not only doing it for just say health or weight issues, that like who are doing it for the animals.
Well, there's a lot of people. There is a lot of people that do it for.
Let me finish.
I thought you were. Sorry.
My mouth was still going, so it couldn't have been.
Right.
Couldn't have been.
Yeah, so, or maybe I just didn't care.
It couldn't have been that, and I appreciate that honesty. But the people who care about the animals, their main thing is like, these are lives. These are, even to the point of the Bible, let everything that have breath praise the Lord. Now, I'm not sure if eating the animal stops it from praising the Lord or not. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Well, they don't have any breath anymore, so no.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But are we supposed to be,
I didn't kill it.
Right, but you definitely.
Well, we kind of went off on a tangent here. We're on a whole subject.
Well, because I mean, Janessa left. So as far as the whole Earth thing, we're kind of losing our facts on that. But you or somebody mentioned about like vegans or eating animals, whatever, which made me think, even just going to the whole our biblical responsibility, like is that something we were giving to take care of, or was it put here for us to eat? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that a part of, because when God gave the animals to Adam, it wasn't because he was hungry.
Well,
it was because he was lonely. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and then he ate it.
No, I don't know what he ate. Besides the fruit, that's the only thing I was ever told he ate.
Well,
they ain't never mentioned that other meal. But but I'm saying in reference to the animals though. Well, and I'm not. Listen, I'm gonna eat meat tomorrow. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting here talking as a vegan saint at all. I'm just saying, thinking about it while we're thinking, because I don't litter, but I don't necessarily be thinking about climate change and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, think about it like this.
So it's the same thing with animals. Like, I don't necessarily think about them to that degree enough to be like stop eating. But at the same time, you know, if I seen a dog or something, like I would, you know, I would
What's
look
the
at that dog.
difference?
I would look at that dog with some type of like human kind of respect, as opposed to somebody threw a fried chicken sandwich on my plate. I don't give a fuck what this chicken had to go through. You know, I'm throwing honey mustard on it, stuffing it inside that bun, and I'm smashing.
Would you? Okay, but if you ate that chicken sandwich and then you found out later that it wasn't chicken, it was dog, how would you feel about it?
I don't know. Probably. I wouldn't necessarily, if I felt any type of way, it wouldn't necessarily be like bad because it was a dog. I might feel disgusted just because.
Why?
But that's what I'm saying. Just because
people eat dog somewhere.
I understand that. I mean,
you would eat dog too if you ran out of food.
I'm sure people who eat humans somewhere. I don't.
No, that's pretty much universally frowned upon.
But you don't think there's cannibals out there somewhere?
Oh, there are, but they are limited amounts and they are accepted nowhere.
I'm saying, but either way, they're out there. That ain't got nothing to do with me, is my point. What I'm saying is, I don't want that chicken to not be anything but chicken. I don't care if it don't got to be dog. I don't want it to be turkey if it said chicken. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want it to be what they said. Now, if it ain't, you know, that's why I say my grace and keep moving. But the point I'm making is that I don't necessarily feel bad for animals. And I probably do have the psychological mindset of they're here for us to eat, as opposed to these plants. But my question is that their responsibility for being here to eat, or are we supposed to be taking care of these motherfuckers the same way we do when we get a pet?
Think about it this way, right? And this goes back to the whole environmental thing too. I'm not saying don't eat animals. I'm just saying eat less of them. We raise too many because we eat them at every meal. That's what leads to the factory farming. That's what leads to the environmental destruction. Think about this biblically. Now, people in the Bible, a lot of the times they would sacrifice animals to God, right? Mm-hmm. They would sacrifice the finest lamb, or they would sacrifice a goat, or whatever they had. But they didn't do it all the time. And they didn't eat their animals all the time either. It was considered an occasion. It was considered and when they gave it to God, it was considered a sacrifice. We're taking the thing that we were waiting to eat and we're giving it to you instead. That's what the respect of that comes in. That's where the praise of that comes in. And if we just looked at eating meat like that, and we'd only have it like once every couple of weeks or something, you know, and then everything would get better. But we don't want to do that because we're spoiled.
So you're saying we should in between the time eating them, we should be sacrificing them to God?
No, I'm saying we should limit the amount that we consume. Because especially now that we have developing lab-grown meats, the Beyond Burger, if you've never been to Burger King and have one of those, it's pretty spot on, tastes like a hamburger. So, but there's like a stigma around it. It's like, I'm not eating no fake hamburger. What do you think I am? Some kind of fag, you know, or something like that. That's that ignorant mindset that holds people back, and they hold us back in turn.
So you're saying vegan is the way?
I'm saying limit. I'm saying be responsible. Okay?
You're saying don't eat it at every meal. You're saying
it's okay to have a drink. It's not okay to drink all day. You know what I mean?
And eat less. I got
you. I'm just saying be responsible. Know that every time you have another McDonald's quarter pounder, you're actually stepping in the wrong direction. Not because of anything you are particularly doing, but you are feeding a machine that is destroying the planet.
But not if you're having one once a week.
Yeah, but that's not most people. Most people don't eat meat once a week. Most people.
No, I'm talking about the quarter pounder from McDonald's. If somebody go to McDonald's and get a quarter pounder once a week, I'm saying.
Yeah, but okay, I just used that as an example. Why do you always get taken by you always take the analogies and run with them? Okay, fine. Make a hamburger at home or some chicken, as you said, which was racist, by the way, that you just picked out chicken sandwich. But
that's just my favorite. and I just happen to be black. So I mean,
no, whatever.
I mean,
I'm more of a pork man myself. But the point is, factory farmed meats should be eaten on occasion. Once a week would be, if we all ate meat once a week, we would literally solve this problem in like 2 years.
And you think this is a biblical duty, or you just saying just the earth?
I think taking care of the earth is a biblical duty. I think it's a direct charge from God. He gave us dominion over the earth, and part of the word dominion does mean responsibility. And I think when if God is real and he comes back, he's going to be kind of pissed.
But I'm saying, but what about in reference to the animals? I'm saying
it's not about the damn animals, okay?
No. I'm
it's
asking
the factory farming of the animals to supply the meat industry.
I'm asking with the whole question.
Who gives a damn about the animals?
I'm saying it's not about whether you care or not. I'm saying with our biblical responsibility, because people could say who gives a damn about the earth and its climate control and all that type of stuff. So that statement doesn't necessarily nullify take the question all the way out. Like, does the animals tie into this whole earthly responsibility?
No, the animals don't matter. I'll say the same thing I say to what they call ethical.
So then why
hang on, ethical vegans, which was what you were talking about before, the people who are vegan because they care about the animals. The argument I always make to those people is the same argument I'm going to make to you. Those cows and chickens would not exist except to be eaten. So is it better to live and exist for a time and then be eaten, or never exist at all? Because we made those animals specifically to be consumed.
That's what I'm saying. Who said that?
Huh?
Where's that at?
What do you mean, where is that at?
Where does it say that animals were made to be consumed?
No. I'm saying we, right now in the modern times, every chicken you eat was literally born and bred to be eaten. We made that happen. They didn't go find a chicken in the forest and cook up your sandwich with it. It was made specifically to be a sandwich. Correct. So if it was not for sandwiches, there would be no chicken. Do you get it? We made it like a product.
Right, but I get what you're saying. Right. I think I just more or less disagree that they wouldn't exist.
They wouldn't
if we weren't eating them, because then that implies that God put them here to be eaten.
God put them here, and then we manipulated nature like we always do. You ever seen a real chicken? Like a real chicken out running around?
So I'm saying yes, but I'm saying that wouldn't
look
stop
the same,
them,
does it?
That wouldn't be. I'm saying that wouldn't stop them from existing if just because they weren't being eaten.
I'm saying that particular chicken would not exist. If I go to a chicken farm right now and pick up a chicken, that chicken would not exist if nobody ate chicken. Do you understand? We made it like a product in a factory. Somebody took that egg, somebody fertilized it, somebody hatched it, and somebody raised it specifically to be food. Right. If we didn't eat chicken anymore, if we all just quit chicken tomorrow, the chickens that would have existed that we would have created to eat would never exist because we wouldn't make them.
And you're saying somehow that the chicken should be appreciative of that.
No, I'm saying if we eat less meat, they'll make less meat. And if they make less meat, the carbon emissions go down and the planet can heal itself. That's what I'm saying.
So you want them to stop making the chicken for food?
No, I want them to make less.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like that it's about how they're making it. I get what
and
you're saying.
It's less to do with chickens. It's more with factory farming of cows and pigs. But yeah, sure. Chickens don't really do that much damage.
They are delicious.
But cows do. Cows do a lot of damage.
I don't really like eat hamburgers and steak. I don't even really own that. Like I will, but chicken
Kellie,
sandwich?
jump in here, help me, please.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just talking. I'm
gonna die, Kelly. Help me.
This is not even about the topic. I'm just saying in general, like steak and burgers.
I know
that ain't on me.
You've reached the ADD phase of being high.
But you must really be fucked up when you high, because like every time you think that I'm like doing something because I'm high, like I promise you, I'm a functioning alcoholic.
I'm sure that you are
when it comes down to weed.
Yeah. Kelly,
church announcements.
Say something.
I don't have anything.
This man Terry turning red.
I don't have anything to add.
I didn't even turn my light on though.
Don't have anything to add.
What are you talking about? We have our almost 1 year reunion celebration coming up this weekend. That's a huge church announcement. I'm driving 8 hours to see you on Great.
I didn't have anything to add on this.
She's talking about the topic. Yeah,
I know. It's called a joke, Rudy.
I don't have anything to add on this topic. But yes, church announcements, if that's where we are. By the time, I promise you, I put my life on it. By the time this comes out, there will be an additional post or two on the Worst Ones PK at the Worst One PK on Instagram.
She put it on everything.
On my life.
Whoa.
Because I want it to be updated before we have our 1 year reunion in person in Atlanta this weekend.
Are we doing a live podcast?
We most certainly gotta find a time. Yeah, I guess we need to talk logistics after this and timing for all of us to get together. That seems like that's going to be the hard piece.
It's 1 hour. Yes, that's fine.
I'm good. I'm good. But yes, at the Worst Ones PK is where you can find us on Instagram. There will, on my life, be new things there that you will want to check out next week. Do not shake your head, Rudy.
I just hope you don't.
On my life, y'all gonna see me fall out and die next week.
God spare her. God have mercy on her soul.
On my life. Now that I don't have to go to work on Friday, I can do it. In terms of listening to the podcast, watching us, YouTube, Spotify, wherever else that you get your podcasts. I listen on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, but wherever that's most convenient for you, just type in the Worst Ones podcast and you can join in on our fun. As usual, thank you to all 500 million of you that listen each week. Always remember to comment, like, subscribe, share with other people, DM us, message us. We love to hear your comments, your questions. We'll most definitely answer them in the next podcast. So hit us up. My personal page is Princess Kels 51. Yeah. Try if you may.
I like how we're shaming her into opening up her Instagram. First of all, let me say a big thank you to this week's sponsors, Kelly's Secret, the off-brand of Victoria's Secret. It's basically the Kirkland brand of Victoria's Secret, but it's okay. It's just as good. I'm super excited to come up to Atlanta and meet Kelly and Janessa for the first time ever. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
And me.
Y'all met in person, haven't you?
No, I don't. Yeah, that's true. We haven't.
Really? I thought you guys met in person.
No, that's crazy. I didn't even realize that till he said it.
We've never met in person.
Never.
Wow.
Met. That's true. Okay. We only did the podcast over the. That's true. No, I'm super excited. I'm bringing my girlfriend with me. Gonna take her to the varsity in
do Atlanta things.
Huh?
To do Atlanta things.
Yeah, maybe the aquarium if there's time. I'm not going back to the Coca-Cola thing. I've done it too many times. It's not that good. I'm not going back.
All right.
I'm sorry. It's too much. It's too much. Gotcha. Terry Wayne Comedy for all my upcoming dates on all social media platforms. It's easy. You can come out, be offended. We'll talk religion. You can yell at me. Whatever. It's fine.
There you go.
I'm here for your pleasure.
There you go. at the podcast official page on YouTube and Spotify now. The episode is up. R. Kelly versus his music. Go listen to that controversial conversation because that it was. Separating
the art from the artist.
Yeah.
Is it okay to watch the Cosby Show?
Right. And then of course
we should talk about that on this. But go ahead, sorry.
We can. Melanated Brews for Janessa Rowland. That's her business page. She just goes to Dunkin' Donuts. So y'all want to see her drinking Dunkin' Donuts.
Hey, every once in a while, a benevolent benefactor will send her some proper coffee.
I hope she doesn't listen.
If y'all want to see her drinking Dunkin' again.
I hope she does listen. Get on the Kelly trip.
Melanated Brews, and then her personal page, J Rihanna. And no, she is not copying off the singer. Her middle name really is Rihanna. Okay. So shouts out to Janessa. Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
And then, of course, interested sponsors, hit us up. We're always interested in your interest to support this wonderful podcast. And
yeah, and if you support us with your sponsorship, we'll tell you Kelly's secret.
Wow. He is not letting this show go.
Not at all. And just make sure you cut it out.
Gotcha.
What? No, I'm trying to pimp you out.
Jesus Christ. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening, watching. We are the worst ones. We out.
Top of the world.